400 kilograms. That's not a gym flex. That's the amount of weapons-grade uranium Iran still has right now. And if you think, well, that's their problem, congratulations, you just failed geopolitics 101. Because in the next few weeks, the uranium could drag Israel, the US, and half the Middle East into a war we are not ready for. Here's the situation. Israel says Iran still has enriched uranium at over 90% purity. That's bomb ready. And they're not whispering about it. They're saying we will strike before December, maybe even late August. Think about that. This isn't sometime next year. You'll still be on your summer playlist when the missiles fly. How did we get here? Because you already had the movie moment, Operation Midnight Hammer. Yes, that's a real name, not an 80s tel flick. Was supposed to destroy Iran's nuclear stockpile. US officials say the sites were hit, centrifuges destroyed, uranium vaporized. The end, roll credits. Except not. Israel's version, the uranium was moved, possibly days before the strike, and the smoking gun, or in this case the rolling dump trucks, is satellite footage showing convoys leaving the site. The US says construction vehicles, Israel says nuclear getaway trucks. And yes, moving enriched uranium in dump trucks sounds insane. It's radioactive, it's lethal, but despotic regimes have done worse. Stalin sent millions to die building roads. Iran would absolutely sacrifice a few dozen workers if it means keeping their nuclear program alive. This is bigger than Israel versus Iran. Iran's not just enriching uranium, they're building intercontinental ballistic missiles. That means New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, all potentially in range. And when a country that funds Hezbollah, the Houthis, and Hamas get nukes and the delivery system, that's a global nightmare. And here's the part that doesn't make headlines: oil. The Middle East produces a massive chunk of the world's petroleum. If Iran goes nuclear, they can bully Saudi Arabia and Iraq, shove US influence out, and let China and Russia fill the gap. That doesn't just mean higher gas prices, it means higher prices for everything. Because when oil costs spike, so does shipping, farming, manufacturing, all of it. While all this is happening, Iran's president goes on TV and says, basically, we are running out of water. Help. This isn't propaganda spin, this is desperation. Aquifers are drying up, droughts getting worse, and the population, nearly 91 million, lives in the desert. And just across the border, Pakistan's in the same boat, except theirs is sinking faster. Pakistan gets 90% of its fresh water from the Indus River. The river starts in Indian-controlled Kashmir. And earlier this year, India cut the flow, tearing up a treaty from 1960. Pakistan's prime minister is done with diplomacy. His message, turn the water back on or we go to war. And here's the maths. No water means 100 million Pakistanis could start dying in months. Which means the next Indo-Pak war isn't an if, it's a calendar event. And while the Middle East and South Asia are bracing for potential wars, East Asia is accidentally running naval slapstick. In the South China Sea, a Chinese Navy destroyer, these are supposed to be sleek, deadly, high-tech warships, just rammed one of his own Coast Guard vessels while harassing the Philippines. I'm not kidding. You can see it on video. The destroyer basically could man into its teammate. And yes, they crumbled their own ship like a soda can. Will China stop? Absolutely not. If anything, they'll double down. Because for Beijing, this isn't about accidents. It's about claiming water the thing is theirs, no matter the cost. So let's zoom out. Iran potentially weeks away from an Israeli strike. Pakistan and India on a collision course over water. China playing chicken in the South China Sea. These aren't isolated incidents, they are flashpoints. And history doesn't usually give us a courtesy of one crisis at a time. These could all ignite together, and if they do, every part of your life, from the price of gas to the safety of your city, changes overnight. Here's the thing about geopolitics. The disasters don't start when you see them on the news. They start in the weeks and months before, while we are distracted. And right now, the world's most volatile fault lines are shaking. When the first one breaks, we don't get to choose where the cracks spread. The world's flashpoints are heating up. Pay attention now before they boil over.